Fun, enjoyable, exciting, short, but also pretty much a video game. Hey guys, this is AWO here, Aaron Warrior. This is my Super Mario Brothers movie non-spoiler review. I just got back from seeing the movie. It's a very short movie. Unless you guys know, it's only an hour and a half. So it felt like I just got it and just left like right away. It felt like that. It was a very and yeah, it was a very short movie. So what did I think of the movie? Okay, this title might sound like it's a bad thing by saying pretty much a video game, but it really was pretty much a video game. And what I mean by that, well, I'll get to that in a bit. But the good stuff, I'll say this movie is good. It's fun. It's good. Like it's good in a way that turn off your brain. You don't have to go into this movie thinking it's gonna be a masterpiece. It's gonna be a classic. It's gonna be talked about. You don't go into this movie where you're gonna see a Marvel or DC movie where Marvel and DC things. There's obviously like, well, there's good action, but there's also like themes and all that shit behind the movie. This movie, don't go in there expecting, thinking with your brain how this story affects, how the story makes sense. Don't think it. The story is basically a typical Mario story. It's typical. It's a generic Mario story, and so it works for this. So that's why it's pretty much a video game, but it's good though. They did respect the Mario franchise with all the characters, all the characters, all the villains, the henchmen in it. You get to see you see some familiar characters, side characters who from the games. There's a bunch of them. You'll see them in the film. I thought it was a good movie. Uh, it was a good, solid movie. I just didn't, I ran this, like I said, I ran this movie not expecting anything like to get heavily involved in the story. I from the beginning, once we knew they were doing this movie, when they announced it back in 2021 or 2020, whatever year, I knew like, yeah, this is gonna be a typical Mario kind of movie because the style they were going for. It's gonna be like that, and it works for Mario, right? Because Mario is not a very detailed video game story like a lot of video games adaptations, even though most of them stink. There's a story there. There's nothing here. There's nothing here really. But overall, I like the voice acting. Chris Pratt is fine as Mario. I believe Jack Black is fine as Bowser. The voice acting is fine. Um, there's some good jokes in the movie. It's pretty funny. I'll tell you this, Donkey Kong and Mario's banter with each other was fun as hell. I like that. It was fun. It was. If you feel like there was some of the story development was rushed, yeah, because it's pretty much a cutscene. I'll say what it is. I'll say it right here. It's fun. It's good. It's good. It's gonna make a lot of money. It's gonna make a lot of money. I guarantee you, it's gonna be the first video game. It's gonna make over 500 million at the box office. I guarantee you. The thing is, this video game. But here's the thing. This is not a criticism. This is not a criticism. This is not a negative. But this movie is basically, if you did not play the Mario games, like the gameplay aspect, but part of some of the games with the cutscenes, this is basically a playthrough of a Mario game without without the gameplay aspect where you get to actually play. This is basically a cutscene. This is a bunch of cutscenes you put on film with each other for an hour and a half. So it's basically you're basically watching cutscenes, basically cutscenes of a video game in movie form with a movie plot, with a movie story. So that's basically this. It's just taking basically real Mario cutscenes. Basically, it is. It's not. That's what it is, man. That's what it is. Very different than Sonic. That's what it is. It's just that's what it is. Kids loved it. The kids, when I went to the theater, the kids clapped. They loved it. I liked it. I'm not shitting on the racist, Randall, but if you're into video games and Mario and all that, if you're not into, I'll say this: if you don't know anything about Mario, you might not understand any of this. But I'm telling you, this movie's gonna do well because when there's kids going to a movie at 12:30 on a Wednesday afternoon, that's a good sign. But yeah, I liked it. Tell me your thoughts once you go see it. So, okay, I don't know when I'm doing non-spoiler review, but be on lookout for that. Take care, guys. Like, share, subscribe, and comment below.